Welcome back to PsyWicV. We're happy to see you today and to present to you our last episode in our series on anxiety disorder. We hope you enjoy this episode. Are you ready? Let's go. Now, first and foremost, it is important to remember that not everyone who worries about things has an anxiety disorder. You could be worried about things that are typical in your life because you could be experiencing a very overwhelming schedule or demands for your time. You could be experiencing stressors at work or at home. Your diet might be poor. You might be consuming too much caffeine, may not be sleeping enough. So if the bottom line is that if there are more stressors coming on in your life, you are going to feel that anxiety come on a little more. So these tips are meant to help you lower your stress level and manage your anxiety so that it doesn't become overwhelming and feel out of control.
Connect with others. Loneliness and isolation can trigger or worsen anxiety. Talking about your worries face-to-face can often make them seem less overwhelming. Make it a point to regularly meet up with friends, join a self-help or support groups, or share your worries and concerns with a trusted loved one. Emotion is like water. You need to let it flow in and out by talking about it. When water stops flowing, it gradually becomes breeding ground for bacteria and diseases. In the same way, when emotions are repressed, it will eventually make you sick.
Now, there are 4 likely reasons why you might feel stress. First is not having enough information available to you, feeling like you have a limited amount of time, feeling like you have a limited amount of options available to you, and feeling like the decision is a very significant one in your life. Now, for lack of information, what you can do is gather information from sources you have. It can be from the internet, it could be from Googling, it could be from talking with people with similar experiences, and it could be asking people who might have gone through that process. Now, if you perceive yourself to have limited amount of time and the deadline is coming and you need to prioritize your work, then list out the things that might be competing against that task, and look around and evaluate the other things that are happening in your life that is actually taking up time that maybe you can delegate to other people to help you with. There may be times when you have to turn down offers and say no to some things that are being asked of you. If you feel like you have a limited amount of options available to you, do your homework and identify all the options you have available. So first, list out all the options that are available to you. Instead of thinking and dwelling on the options that are not available, think about the options you have available. And then list them, and then write the pros and cons of all the things that are good and bad from those options. This will help you make a decision that is informed and decisive rather than impulsive. Now, in a situation where you identify the decision might be very significant in your life, or there's something high at stake, you might actually take a step back and evaluate the degree of significance that has. Because our mind tends to blow things out of proportion when we feel heightened stress. For example, if we have a boyfriend or girlfriend break up with us, we might think, well, if she breaks up with me, my dating life is ending here. No one will ever want to date me again. Or if I don't meet this deadline, my boss is going to fire me and my career is over. But in reality, there are very few things in life that are life and death. It's important if we could consult with somebody else in our life about the perceived significance of that issue in our life. Or so we might approach people and ask them, may I have your opinion on this? Or can I talk to you about something that's really weighing on my heart? And maybe they can give us a third perspective on how to think about these things.
Practice relaxation techniques. When practiced regularly, mindfulness, meditation, progressive muscle relaxation, and deep breathing can reduce anxiety symptoms and increase feelings of relaxation and emotional well-being. There are free mindfulness exercises on YouTube, and you can just pick the one you like. There are also paid options as well. I use Headspace, and it has helped me cultivate a healthier relationship with stress and other overwhelming emotions. Exercise regularly. Like we have said before, we are material and immaterial in one holistic being. You cannot talk about mental health without talking about physical health. Exercise for at least 30 minutes on most days. It can be as simple as taking a walk.
Lack of sleep can definitely exacerbate anxious thoughts and make you feel more stress. So make sure that when you are stressed, you are getting enough sleep and trying to relax yourself as much as you can. What you do during your waking hours count when it comes to sleep. If you don't manage your stress well during the day, if you don't eat well, if you don't exercise during the day, it's going to cost you your sleep. So sit down during the day, declutter your mind, make a list of things that you need to do, and add healthy habits. Make sure that you are smart about your caffeine and alcohol and nicotine intake. Those are all chemicals that actually can change your central nervous system, and it can impact your sleep. While it might seem that those have calming effects, they actually stimulate your system. And so when you don't have it, you actually have more anxiety as a result. So the temporary calmness of, say, having a cigarette for 2 minutes, it's going to cost you some anxiety after the fact when you can't have that calmness sustained. Learn to live in the moment. We don't know what our future holds, and we don't know how to change our past. Last I checked, whenever you look into your past, you always feel regretful and depressed and guilt. Whenever we think about our future, we tend to be anxious about what's coming up tomorrow. So if you're thinking about the future, you are forcing your mind to be there to solve a problem that hasn't existed yet. And worse, you don't have the information to be able to solve it appropriately. So solve tomorrow's problem tomorrow, because you will have enough information tomorrow to be able to solve it. Today, think about how to live in the moment and how to enjoy and how to work through what you can today only, because that's the only information you have available. And this moment is the only moment you have any management over.
Let's look at ancient wisdom and see what we find. Saint Augustine was a great African theologian of the church. He lived in the 4th and 5th century AD. This is essentially what he said about anxiety. All of us have good things in our lives, and we desire them, like family, career, romance. But when something which is finite becomes the one thing we have to have in order to be happy, that's where anxiety comes from. Buddha says that the source of all suffering, which include anxiety, is desire. You see, we strive to achieve these good things, and we're so afraid of losing them. And because life is uncertain, those good things can be taken away from us at any moment. Our predicament is to find something that's lasting, eternal, infinite, to put our hope on. Is there such a thing? Different philosophers and religious leaders have different answers. In Christian theology, that infinite thing that can never be taken away is God, the source of love and all good things. Tim Keller, a 21st century American pastor, said, if the one thing that's non-negotiable in your life, if the one thing you really want, if the one thing you really need, if the one thing is God, you are absolutely safe.
We hope that you found the content of this video beneficial and that you liked what we had presented. If you do, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, click on the bell icon, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you.